Press Start Podcast.
I'm folding already. And welcome back to the Press Start Podcast. I'm your host, Vic, aka Mr. Never Chillin', and this week is episode number 129. And I do welcome back my co host, Scott, aka Scobie1.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
What's going on, buddy? As you can see, everyone, it is just us two. Roger is out of town visiting with the in laws, of course. But how you been, man? It's been a long 2 weeks since we had an episode.
Yeah, I've been good, man. I've been keeping busy. Just doing some things around the house, taking care of that, and then all in all, getting ready for the honeymoon coming up. Leaving Friday, coming back
Hey.
next Friday. So should be good to go there. I can't wait. Getting really excited.
Yeah, man, that should be a lot of fun. So no you next week. That's all right though. So it'll just be another 2-man episode with the Mbakinator, aka Lunatic Oblivion, aka Roger. But yeah, man. So let's go and dive into kind of like what we've been playing over the past 2 weeks. Um, I see a new one here on your list, man. Mount and Blade 2. You picked up Mr. Bandolords. How's that playthrough been going for you?
I did. I've only played for about an hour and a half so far. Fun. It takes a little bit to get used to. But you can do so much. There's so many different ways for combat in there. And it's just fun. And I'm just kind of still in the very, very um, early gameplay for that. How you picked your stats was really, really fun. It was going through it would ask you questions about your childhood, early childhood, late childhood, your younger adult years, and that kind of how you answered that really kind of rack and stacked your stats, which was just really cool. Cool experience. I haven't seen that yet. But once again, very early, so a little bit too early to tell for me. But yeah, and hopped that off the PC Game Pass and had some fun with that, and then I hope to jump back in here this week a little bit more as things kind of slow down and we just kind of go into a lull before the craziness of all next week. Not really
Yeah, for
craziness,
sure.
but it'll be different. I won't be here, so hopefully we'll be able to I'll be able to get some of that under my belt
Right.
and play that because it was pretty fun, pretty enjoyable so far.
Right. So, I mean, obviously you're going on your honeymoon and whatnot, but you're going to be traveling. So there's going to be time for mobile gaming. I know you love to play your games on your phone with Pokemon Go, but obviously you can see one of the games here on my list that I've been playing over the last 2 weeks is Pokemon Heart Gold. I have finally been able to play this game via actually, I don't know. No, never mind. I don't know if it's on Android yet, but the Delta emulator that is on iOS devices right now, you can basically play like any like DS, Game Boy game, NES, SNES game, and it works really fucking good, and it's taken the internet by storm. The gaming community is super excited because Apple came out like what 2 weeks ago, maybe it was like, hey, we're allowing emulation app software to be downloaded on the from the web, the App Store. Just has to follow the legal limits and laws and shit like that. And boy, this is a hell of an experience. Like the DS works perfectly. I don't know if I'll be able to get it up here on screen without it being too blown out, but I'll show you real quick kind of what it looks like.
As you know, our emulators are perfectly legal.
So like I can turn it sideways, as you can see, everybody on
Oh,
screen,
that does look good. Yeah,
and like it just works, dude. And
that does look good.
the setup is really easy. Downloading the games is really easy, and I'm just really awesome to see. Let me fix my exposure, since that decided to have a heart attack there because of the screen. But yeah, man, that's been a hell of an experience being able to play those games. And you can download N64 games right on the phone. So I downloaded like Star Wars Battle of Naboo, um, Diddy Kong Racing, Pokemon Stadium, like some classic games that I'm like I've been dying to get for the console because I have all of these consoles already. It's just sometimes they're hard to come by or they're super expensive. Like Pokemon Heart Gold is like $150. Not paying that.
Yeah, I would say we talked about that but the last show when this was about to come out. So I'm glad to see that that's successful and fun. That Diddy Kong Racing though, goated.
I love it. It's great.
100%. One of my favorite games on the N64. I think it's where my anxiety started. Was that final race?
Yeah.
I think it's where the perfectionism started. Where if I can't do it and be perfect, I don't do it at all.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, and what's awesome though is that it also supports controller. So like you could play with an Xbox controller, PlayStation controller, and it just works. Like apparently like they have found a way to map all of the buttons to the controller as well. Because obviously we know the N64 controller was weird and goofy as fuck. It just works with those controllers as well. So that's been a hell of a time. Um On top of that, though, man, I've been busy. I've been beating games. I beat Evil West finally. That was a really great experience. I talked about it with you 2 weeks ago
Mhm.
about the linear experience, the intense combat. The story was great. Overall, really fun experience. Highly recommend it. Um, and then picked up an interesting game here was Botany Manor. This is a game that I wanted to play with Lauren, my fiance here, because she's been getting into like the whole plant life stuff. Like she wants to start a garden and all that stuff. And this game is really about growing plants, but you're growing plants that actually don't exist. But the idea is like a puzzle game. You're trying to figure out, okay, well, this plant needs this much wind and this much water and this combination of heat and things like that. But like you have to build these clues and search the manor, the mansion that you're in for these clues because it's a botanist house that you're staying at, but you're trying to help grow and take care of these plants. It's an overall like a 3 hour experience, give or take, and I beat it, and it was a really fun, really fun game there.
Nice.
Highly recommend that. Again, Game Pass. Game Pass just allows you to pick these games up that I
It just stays
probably
winning.
would not have played. I'm not gonna lie, I
Yeah.
would not have bought Botany Manor a day in my life.
Absolutely not. But if you're paying a monthly subscription to get basically any game that tickles your fancy, I mean, what's not to love?
Yeah,
Once again, we're not sponsored by Xbox or PC Game Pass, but we're trying to be.
yeah,
So
that'd be
once
great.
again, it's winning every time.
Yeah, man. So let's talk about a little bit more games here on your list, though. Warzone. I know Warzone's really big right now, especially with Warzone Mobile. Rebirth Island's back, so I'm assuming you're dropping Rebirth every time. You're right now. You're playing
I
Warzone.
drop prison every single time. Top of prison. If you win top of prison, you win the game. That's it.
Yeah.
Usually. Asterisk. Your results may vary.
And the crazy thing is, man, it's been out for what a few weeks now, and I have yet to check out Rebirth Island.
It's everything you wish it was. It's great. It's just hopping back in. It's smooth again. Still, I won't shut up about how smooth it is.
Yeah,
I really won't. It's just that smooth when you go back in, especially considering once again, not to beat a dead horse, all the other maps that have come out since then, and they're just not as smooth.
yeah,
They
not at all.
operate weird. Like they're just like Urzik standstill. Like it throws you off the train if you're trying to jump from a cart to cart. Like and Rebirth is just it's hot shit.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's amazing.
That's good. So multiplayer wise, I've really only been playing. I played Halo like once or twice. I was trying to actually check it out on my new monitor that I got, my new 4K 32-inch beautiful monitor. Thanks for your help as well, making the decision on what to buy. And the game looks beautiful, by the way. On that, even like my card, I have the 3060 Silicon. I don't know if it's really running it at 4K, but it's at least running it at like 1440p, and it looks fucking gorgeous. But overall, Halo is still Halo. It's still boom, and it's still a lot of fun. But the other one that I was playing was X Defiant. They were running like a server test for a few days, and actually it just got extended by another day or two, I think. And it still has some issues with like netcode. I think like I'm clearly shooting people, but I'm not sure if it's like really registering all of my bullets hitting him.
Hmm.
And it's really interesting. Like I'm clearly like lasering people, but I'm not getting any hit markers, no damage to them. And then like it eventually hits them, and I'm already dead. And I'm like,
So are you lasering them then?
yeah, yeah, I get it. But I no, apparently I'm not the only one. Like this is a major issue that they're dealing with, and why the game keeps getting delayed because they are having this overall issue with the net coding. Like they just cannot get that shit figured out. But hopefully they do because but I mean right now might not be a time for the game to release because Call of Duty is on fire right now with season 3 and then the return of Rebirth Island and then Warzone Mobile coming out. Like Call of Duty is on all cylinders, so it's not a good time to release.
Yeah, you don't want to release a broken game in what is the new renaissance of Call of Duty right now.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it'd be absolutely insane. So, what other games do we got here that we want to talk about? Been playing through a new game that I'm playing through right now is actually Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. Another game I'm picking up on Game Pass. I beat the first one years ago, but I've never played the sequel. And so far, it's been an interesting experience. Like, it's not an open world game. It's kind of like a straightforward game, but like you can kind of like explore a little bit and like there are big areas, but like you don't really need to explore at all. Like there's nothing worth exploring for. And then I feel like I get turned around and then like the whole like the map or like the marker to show where I go next kind of blends in with the rest of the world because of the colors that they chose. Like the marker is gray and the world is really gray. So I'm like sometimes I feel lost at times. The gunplay feels really, really weird. Like I can't like aim and shoot consistently. It just feels real clunky, and I'm like, man, like Wolfenstein maybe is outdated, like compared to like what we've been playing and or like what I'm just used to. I mean, most games these days, when you shoot a gun, that shit's gonna fucking shoot. Um, but I mean, the story has been fun. It's a really interesting take with a whole um, Bleskovich or whatever his fucking name is. He is basically crippled. He can't walk at all. And like the first level, you actually are in a wheelchair and you're running around in a wheelchair, still shooting at the same time, dual wielding guns. So it was pretty chaotic. And then you get this like armor suit that makes you like walk again and shit. So
Do they have like an e-brake setting where you can just like drift around corners and shit?
no, that'd be too cool.
Ah,
That'd be too cool.
missed opportunities.
Yeah,
Missed
yeah.
opportunities.
But that's all the games I really want to talk about on my list. Looks like you've been playing some Diablo 4. How's that playthrough going?
Fun. Started a barbarian.
Okay.
Just kind of pushing through there. I'm doing just an eternal right now, but I think once the next season hits, I'm just gonna start doing seasonal characters and kind of get back into that rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's still fun. It's nice to see something like do something completely different than I normally do,
Right.
um, and operate within the bounds of that. Um, Story's still pretty good, pretty decent, and pretty fun. And they did some of the updates. I know we talked about it the last episode, like some of the graphics updates, like some of the ray tracing that they've added. Like that, it looks good. It looks really, really good.
Yeah.
Um, it looked good when it first came out, but it looks just even that much better.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, that's good to
but
hear.
yeah.
I know Roger's been enjoying it too. I speak on his behalf just from being in the Discord chat. He's really enjoying it. He's doing seasonal characters as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a game I eventually do want to check out because the first time I played Diablo 3 was, or a Diablo game was 3, which was last year. And it was me, Roger, his fiance, and Bruno. We kind of just powered through that game, beating monsters before they could even finish their scripts and shit like that. Like they're still talking, but they're dead. Like it was intense. It was a really just blown through game. We beat that shit in like I don't know, for like 5 hours. And me, I don't. I'm probably exaggerating, but it seemed
That's an awful lot of
extremely quick.
words. Too bad I'm not gonna read them. Done.
but
But I'd say if it would I would be remiss if I didn't at least mention the Pokemon Go because yeah, that's my staple that I play all the time, no matter
yeah,
what. But I know we're not really looking to cover that in this episode, but they did just get one of three big updates.
yeah,
And if anybody here has been considering getting back into Pokemon Go, now is the time. So they're actually doing the rediscover yourself, the rediscover Pokemon Go campaign and updates. And the very first update was just kind of like your style and stuff like that for your character. But the next one, which drops tomorrow, is going to be rediscover the world. So they're actually going to be redoing the terrain in Pokemon Go.
mm,
And then the next one after that, another week or so, is going to be the rediscover your reality.
yeah.
Not a lot seen on that, but
Yeah, I'd be curious to see because like I feel like Pokemon Go kind of took a nosedive whenever they removed the feature of like you actually had to walk towards the Pokemon to discover them, like in the
Mhm.
in the real world environment. But I know like that led to a lot of like unsafe shit. But like I wonder if there's a way to like for them to fence off certain areas that are like do not trespass or like that's dangerous. So like the game would know not to put a Pokemon in that area. Like I don't know how complex that would
Well, I
be.
mean, you can either ask the game to not put a Pokemon in that area, or you can ask the people playing it to not do stupid shit. Your choice. One costs a lot more money. I mean, the game. It's not like you have to walk into this restricted zone to go catch this Pokemon. Like when you look for Pokemon and look for their locations, you just pull it up. It tells you what Pokestop they're near, and then you can
Mm.
walk towards that. And a
But
Pokestop is just
but
it's
that was that
it's
was that
normal everyday shit. It's not
right.
like it's not like they're throwing a gym in Area 51. You know, it's all just random shit like the coffee store down the street is one. There's like signs and shit that they're not putting that stuff in restricted locations, and I know that because I work in restricted locations, and there's not any there if you're not supposed to be
No,
there.
do you were you then from Pokemon Go from the jump because like it wasn't like centralized on like a Pokestop like they would spawn literally
Correct.
anywhere in the world and you had to walk
Correct.
towards
Yes.
them and the like little
Yes, and
feet
I
print would tell
was.
you if you were getting closer, hot or cold, and then they would appear once you got close enough.
Correct. Yeah, that was I think it was like one of the first updates to it was like you would let you know like
Hmm.
where if you were getting closer, but like once again like If you're gonna walk into traffic, you should look up and know that you're gonna walk into some fucking traffic.
Yeah.
But all that to say, like they have revamped some of that stuff. It's doing fantastic, and it is smooth.
Yeah.
I when they pushed the first update, I actually didn't even know about it until I hopped in one day, and I was like, "This is so goddamn smooth. Like, what is going on?" I'm like, "This looks amazing." Like the refresh rate, like everything has been revamped, and it just looks fucking awesome. I'm like, this is a whole new experience. This is fantastic. This isn't the flat, like almost like pseudo 3D that you had originally that a lot of people got accustomed to. Like this is it's something completely different now, and it just looks so much better, and it plays so much better. Everything's so much nicer. So if you are looking to get back into Pokemon Go, now's gonna be your time because they're doing a lot of stuff for these updates, and they're putting a lot of events out there for everybody, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
It feels very nostalgic into what Pokemon Go was the first time around, and they are adding a lot more encounters with all of the Gen One Pokemon that were
Mhm.
there when it all started. Not to mention, big shout out to them for the last Community Day, which was yesterday. And they pulled Bellsprout, which is Pokemon number 69, and they did it on 420. So big shout out to whoever decided to go with that.
That's actually hilarious. But all right, man, let's go ahead and move on from what we've been talking about to the industry news. Was got just a couple of things before we get into the meat of our episode with our gaming news. So let's go ahead and take a look at the industry news. All right, man, I'm going to kick it off here. This one wasn't necessarily like industry news, but it was like a hot topic that was like it spread like wildfire on Twitter. And this one was an ex Blizzard boss suggested players should be able to tip developers. And this kind of sparked a lot of like controversy and like rage. You're like, why would I want to tip a developer? Like, I already spend $70 on a game that's half ass, half complete, half broken, missing content, missing there. Why would I want to tip a developer? And they were like, for big time developers like EA, Call of Duty, like any of those doesn't make sense. Any developers who are really small could probably genuinely enjoy that or appreciate that a little bit more. So like I see some arguments where it makes sense, but a lot more arguments where it doesn't. But I'd love to hear your take on the tipping developers.
Yeah, how about you just fucking pay your developers and not make your goddamn customers do it? We're already buying the game. We're in the realm now where we're spending $70 for a digital fucking copy of a game, so we're not even getting anything physically tangible to hold. Where's that money going? Put that shit to your developers. What the fuck are you thinking? Why should I be tipping a goddamn developer for my game?
Yeah.
That's I won't sugarcoat it. Like pay
Nothing wrong
your
with that.
pay your fucking developers. Pay
Yeah.
your developers. And you know what? Pay the better ones more money. You'll get better fucking games, harder fucking workers, people that are happier, people that actually like want to be there doing that goddamn job. And then you'll get better games, happier customers, more money. Pay
Better
your fucking
ingredients,
developers.
better games. Are
Better
we going back to that?
ingredients, better games, baby. You use full free range organic developers. Okay, uh, as little labor laws violations as possible, and we know not everybody's perfect, right?
Hmm.
You know, um, just pay your fucking developers. Why? Oh well, we should make the fucking people that have already spent $70 on a game. Yeah, let's fucking make them tip the developers.
Yeah, and it's
The
so funny
fuck
that
up.
this came out because
Like,
I started to see memes. They were like, when a police officer pulls you over and he hands you your ticket, he's going to hand you his phone too. I'm like, would you like to tip today, sir? You would no. Like it's been like a meme that like every business is going to start like offering like the ability to tip, and I'm like, only in America do we worry about tips as much as we do. Because like I went to when I went to England and like I went to tip my waitress or whatever, and it was like frowned upon. Like, they don't believe in tips over there because they pay them motherfuckers well already. Why like you don't have to worry about tips? And I was like, oh, I like this. This makes sense because I don't really like tipping to begin with, like at all. Like, but I know like that's how they make their money. But like, why do I have to pay extra for the food I'm already paying for? That's already too expensive as it is. So it's like we're in the same
so
situation here.
I think I'm a little bit opposite of that. Like I used to work in food service industry. So like I'm generally a very, very generous tipper. when it comes to people in a service industry, people that are actually doing things for me. You want me to tip a developer? You
Mm,
can go fuck yourself.
yeah, that's fair. So, moving on to our last industry news topic here, some more unfortunate news here. What is going on?
Yeah, it's going to be Take Two again, and it's the return of the layoffs. So it looks like Take Two's laying off about 5% of their employees. So that's actually about 600. Not only is it doing that, it's actually canceling several projects that are currently in development as a quote unquote cost cutting initiative across the company. Um, it's because we didn't tip the developers. They can't afford to keep them, obviously. But they filed the paperwork with the SEC on Tuesday, and they said it's going to be largely complete by the end of 2024. But it's just more unfortunate news. There's a quote from them in the filing saying that as part of these efforts, the company is rationalizing its pipeline and eliminating several projects in development and streamlining its organizational structure, which will eliminate headcount and reduce future hiring needs. It's unfortunate.
Sounds like a whole bunch of
There's
bullshit.
yeah. Yeah,
And
there's two sides to every coin. You know, maybe the organizational structure had too many middle management and it was getting in the way of productivity and getting things done in time. There's always an extra side of that story, but still it's unfortunate when we always have to report on people losing their jobs, and that has been the case
week.
every damn Sunday since I don't know, was it like back in like 2020?
It's been 4 years running.
It was back in like January of 2020. A lot of people started getting laid off.
Yeah, it's been brutal, and it's like
Jokes.
just
For
to
official
some
reasons, these are jokes.
for just for some more insight though from the article, it says after making $8.5 billion from GTA 5, saying it had no current plans for layoffs, but GTA 6 publisher announces nearly 600 people are being laid off and canceled $140 million worth of projects. And I'm just like, and it's like the CEO was like, we had no plans on layoffs, but here we are. So it's like,
Nobody, no, and then they're gonna come back like, well, nobody plans for a storm, like some
yeah,
stupid
some
bullshit like
yeah,
that. Like, shut up, you knew. And they even said like our biggest line item expense was marketing. So we do have the opportunity to optimize many expenses that don't involve our headcount, marketing and third-party expenses, vendor charges, and the like. So it's like they're still gonna try to do that to minimize who they lose, but still, it's like you knew. Like, at least I feel when you think of what they've been saying and how much money they made off of Grand Theft Auto 5, knowing how much money they're going to make off of Grand Theft Auto 6.
it's going to be disgusting how much
And
money they
it's
make
going to
off of
be
GTA 6.
absolutely gross. It's going to be gross. It's going to be like I don't know, you remember when you were a kid and you go to like carnivals or you go to like a fundraiser and you had that it was that dollar. It was like there was a little. It was like a phone booth, and it had a bunch of $1 bills in it,
Right.
and they hit that bitch with a leaf blower. It's that. It's
Yeah.
that. But they're gonna be grabbing hundreds.
Yeah.
The leaf blower never turns off, and then if somebody's finding it difficult, they just turn the leaf blower off, and they say you can grab it from the ground. That's how much money these motherfuckers are gonna make
Yeah. It's
when Grand Theft Auto 6 hits.
yeah. It's going to be insane because like $8.5 billion for GTA 5, and yeah, it's been released what 57,000 times, just as much as Skyrim. But like GTA 6 could get the same fucking treatment. And there's more gamers now than there was then. So now we're just going to be selling the game to the more gamers and more game. Like it's going to be exponential, like how much money that they're going to make. So,
Yes, absolutely. It's gonna be ridiculous.
but 5% layoffs was needed.
Gotta save that money.
All right. So no more in industry news. Let's go ahead and dive into the latest gaming news that we got for you over the past 2 weeks. All right, man. Kicking it off here in regards to our Xbox news. This one's actually really big because they entered a collaboration deal with NetEase. That's a publisher basically over in China, and they're going to be bringing back a lot of their Activision Blizzard games that were no longer going like available in China. So that's awesome to see there. So that's just going to bolster Xbox. That's going to bolster gaming in general. So really awesome to see there. Some sad news that was pulling on some heartstrings, as I was telling you in the pre-show, Scott, is that the Xbox 360 store will be closing officially on July 29th, 2024. Um, that's unfortunate, man. Like it's sad to see that, but good thing about Xbox, pretty much every 360 game that you would ever want to buy, you can just buy it on the Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and a lot of them on PC as well. and a lot of them are backwards compatible, forward compatible, buy one, play anywhere. Like it just works. Shout out to Xbox. Another exciting update is that they do plan to bring on the Xbox dashboard to the web with party chat and much more. So that's for like their xCloud stuff that you didn't really have a dashboard or anything to kind of work with. It kind of just launched the game and that's it, pretty much. So really awesome to see there. Big exciting news for the Call of Duty community. Activision says that all 12 Call of Duty League teams will receive any of the $27 million entry fee payment that made to Activision back, and they no longer will be required to pay the remaining fee to stay in the league. So, big news there for the Call of Duty League because it was going downhill really quickly, and could have got the Overwatch treatment. Really, like that's what I saw was
Yeah,
coming.
that was a near miss. Whew, they dodged that bullet for sure.
Yeah. And then last up, I just want to talk a little bit about Fallout, man. Like Fallout is booming right now. Like that show, which I've only watched the pilot episode. I gotta watch the rest of them. Um, is one of the highest rated shows game adaptations of all time. A lot of people are calling it better than the Last of Us TV show, which we know is arguably the greatest as of right now. But the impact from the show that it has on the games has been really remarkable. There are over 260,000 people currently playing Fallout games on Steam, and it does not include like Game Pass because all of the games are available via Game Pass, and even more available on the PC Game Pass app because Fallout 1 and 2 aren't available on console. So like it's pretty crazy, and like some of these numbers, right? Fallout 4 has 138,000. Fallout 76 had 61,000, which I think that's actually up to like 90,000 the last time I checked it. Fallout New Vegas had 34,000. Fallout Shelter, the mobile game, which is also on PC, had 7,000. Fallout 3 had 9,000. The older Fallouts had like 3 and 2,000 respectively, and it's like man, Fallout is back, and like it's been a lot of questions in the gaming industry is like, what does Xbox do next with the gaming IP? Like, we know Fallout 5 is a long ways away. Like, they're still making content for Starfield. Then they're moving on to Elder Scrolls 6, which we know isn't coming out for a while, and then it's Fallout 5. But in that interim of what 10 fucking 15 years before we get Fallout 5, what do they do with the IP? Like, do they outsource the IP like they did with New Vegas? They have Obsidian. Obsidian made New Vegas. New Vegas 2 or new whatever. Make a new fucking game. Or you
Mm.
have a massive amount of studios now. Give the Fallout IP to, say, a Call of Duty developer. That might be good. Or id Games from Doom or Machine Games with Wolfenstein. Like, they have a plethora of developers to make a Fallout. And I think that's what they need to do. They do need to continue to support the Fallout 76 game with a ton of content since that is a live service like multiplayer game. And but Fallout 4 is getting its next gen update. It comes out this week, so that's really exciting. A lot of people are looking forward to that. I know I might hop back into Fallout 4. I haven't played it since launch and when I beat it, but maybe it's time to return and just enjoy that Fallout experience again. But Scott, have you watched the
Yes,
show? When was the last time you
I
played
I
Fallout? Let me hear
I
about it.
have, and I finished it.
Okay.
Um, it was all in all, it was very very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. As somebody who's played Fallout, as somebody who has played Bethesda games as well. I also know that a lot of Bethesda players are very very hard to please, and it's been causing somewhat of a bitch fest for a lot of people. But if you watch the whole show, if you finish it out, you'll leave there pretty satisfied. A lot of people were bitching about it removed certain things from canon. Not the case necessarily. Not necessarily the case there, but I think
You're talking about the whole
outside
New
of the
Vegas thing?
yeah,
Well, Todd Howard
but
apparently confirms that the events in New Vegas actually did happen. Still, like the timeline
yep,
is still intact.
yes, the timeline's still very much intact. Because this takes place what in 2187, I think it was.
Something like that. Yeah.
So well after the events of I think even Fallout 4.
Mhm.
Um, all in all, it's very very enjoyable. This is it's like that Homer Simpson meme where it's like they smack the back of Bart and like that's how you do a reboot. Like I just want to, it's like you want to smack the back of Halo's head and be like that's how you do a fucking that's how you do a video game adaptation.
Yeah, so
Like
Bombs
it was
dropped in
good.
2077. Fallout
Yeah,
76 takes place in 2102. Fallout 1 is 2161. Fallout 2 is 2241. Fallout 3 is 2277.
or 22, oh, yeah, 2280 something. Yeah,
New Vegas is 2281. Fallout 4 is 2287. And the show takes place in 2296. So 15 years
96.
after
There it is.
Vegas.
Yeah,
New Vegas.
which is plenty of time for everything that happened in the show to happen.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people just need to relax. It was a very, very good adaptation. Um, the references were Chef's Kiss
Yeah.
in a lot of the episodes, and not only is Fallout back, but so is Walton Goggins.
Yeah.
He was
He's the
one of those
best.
like kind of like pretty sideline actors. I think his last like main one of his last main roles was like in Justified. Um, but he's always been like a fun like kind of like side dude, and he really, man, he kills it in this whole series. He absolutely fucking killed it as Coop, and man, he was just so damn good. And the storyline for it was really good. There's some questions to be asked, but like once again, a lot of people that are complaining about some of the things in the show, like as far as the timeline, this is the latest thing that we have from the
Hmm.
Fallout universe.
Right.
So things change. Things change
Yeah.
over 15 years. Um, like that's really what it is. And there's nothing I saw that was just so glaringly bad. Actually, I didn't see anything that was even remotely really glaringly bad. As long as you go into this going, yeah, this is a live action adaptation of a video game. Like
And
it
it
was
was
good
perfect.
storyline.
Like, yeah,
Um,
the vibes, the outfits, the
yeah,
scenery, the guns, the
so
creatures,
the costumes,
the co-
the costumes, the set. It it was you were watching a Fallout game. That's exactly what it was. The set and the costumes and everything like that were outstanding the entire time.
Halo. Please take
It
notes.
take some fucking notes, please. Uh, Thank you for for not doing that originally and giving us that those two piles of remote horseshit. Two was at least more watchable, but even then, if you did you watch all of two?
Yes, I absolutely loved
So,
it.
so the arbiter
Dies.
just dies before you even get to the first Halo.
Right.
That's a thing that we do now.
Yeah, I was talking to Phil
Storyline too
for it. I was
damn.
like, maybe he gets revived somehow, or like,
Oh, that was a
I don't
different arbiter.
know. Yeah, it's a different
I'm
one.
waiting. It was a different arbiter. There's another arbiter.
Yeah,
Arbiter is a position, not a
yeah.
person.
Well, there's a clone, or it's gonna be something stupid as fuck. Yeah,
It
but
was nice seeing some of the stuff in there, but man, like they just kind of fucked it on that. All in all, I think the acting, I think the actors in there were pretty well, but I think or did pretty well. But I just think the storyline, like
yeah,
it's really hard to
Halo's
fuck
gonna be
something up
really
that hard.
weird when Master Chief isn't in his armor like 99% of the show. Like I don't get it. I
It's
just
gonna
don't.
be awful. Yeah, I'm waiting for the line where it's like the Mjolnir armor was like restricting him or something like that. I'm gonna turn that bitch off so fast.
But just one quick stat though from Fallout, just to bring this back into the Fallout talk, is Fallout 4 actually jumped to the number one spot in the number one most sold game in Europe as the sales rose 7,500%. Absolutely
Fuck
bonkers.
yeah, good for them.
But yeah, so shout out to them there. But let's go ahead and move on to just Game Pass updates. They did announce their recent games that are coming to the service. I gotta move that off that screen. That shit makes that shit bright as fuck. Shout out to my new display. Um,
Shout out to that 4K. How's it
yeah,
brighter?
it's just bright 4K. Shit's in your face.
How's it brighter? I don't get it. It's just blinding.
Especially when the whole thing is just white, like the whole screen. But yeah. So what became available today was Harold Halibut. Came to cloud, PC, and Xbox Series X and S. Actually, a game that I recently just downloaded. I want to give it a go. It says it's described as it's a handmade narrative game about friendship and is on a life-sized, life is on a city-sized spaceship submerged in an alien ocean. He explores vibrant retro future world and his quest to find the true meaning of home. So that seems a pretty cool experience on Game Pass. So I'm really excited for that. Um, Orcs Must Die came out on April 17th, the cloud console and PC. Then we got EA Sports NHL 2024 for console became available on via EA Play on April 18th. Perfect timing with the whole playoffs are in the role for NHL right now, so perfect. Then we got Uden Chronicles 100 Heroes came to cloud console and PC. That actually comes out on the 23rd. That's really awesome to see there. I know a lot of people are excited for this JRPG. Then we get another Crab's Treasure coming to cloud console and PC on April 25th. This is a Souls-like adventure set in a crumbling underworld. As Krill, the hermit crab, you'll need to wear the trash around you as shells to withstand attacks from enemies. So that's a really interesting take on a Souls-like game. As a hermit crab, that one might be an interesting just pick up just to see like what the fuck is going on in this game.
You're like, what
um,
the hell is this about? Gotta try it.
yeah. Big exciting game here is Mana Lords coming to PC Game Pass on April 26th. Um, this one is the medieval strategy game featuring in-depth city building, large-scale tactical battles, and complex economic and social simulations. Um, and then we get Have a Nice Death coming to cloud console and PC on April 30th. This is that says it's a charming 2D action roguelike play as an overworked death whose employees have run rampart and completely throwing off the balance of souls. Basically, you're like your death and the people who work for death aren't doing their job, so you have to go kick them in the ass and fix the whole process. So it's a really interesting take there. But shout out to Game Pass Core. They're getting Deep Rock Galactica, Super Hot Control Delete, and Wreckfest on April 23rd. Leaving though on April 30th, 7 Days to Die, Besiege, EA Sports NHL 2022. That's all right. Loot River. This is actually a game I checked out for a little bit. It's a pretty interesting game. Like you're this like samurai kind of thing, and like you hop on these platforms that like you can shift, but they're in like they look like Tetris tiles, so you have to like move them into a certain spot, and you hop off, you collect items or battle. So I would definitely check this out before it leaves here in about a week. But Piku Niku is also leaving, and Ravenlock, another game I do highly recommend. Pretty short experience, about 5 hours, I think it was. Didn't really do nothing for the genre. It was just a nice, thorough, fun game. So, but Scott, that is all of the Xbox news I got for you this week. And actually, surprisingly enough, there was not really much going on for PlayStation or Nintendo. Like, I don't know what it is. Like day in and day out, I'm like searching, scouring for shit that's going on in their world. But like, they're always quiet. Xbox is always doing something.
Oh yeah. Have you tried looking harder?
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Uh,
Nobody's got time for that shit. But you know who does have time? Disney. Disney's got some fucking time now. So Disney has actually added three game industry veterans to his leadership team. Uh, so after the announcement of its collaboration with Epic on the games and entertainment universe, they've reached out. They reached out to people that they wanted to be executives for them, and so now they have three. They're coming from Blizzard, Ubisoft, and Marvel Games. And then internally, they did have a promotion. So congratulations to Sean Shoptaw, who's been promoted to executive vice president. But he will actually be working with Ray Gresco, who was the chief development officer at Blizzard. He co-led things like Overwatch and Diablo 3.
uh,
And he was the lead programmer in Star Wars Dark Forces.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so he will work on the new Epic collaboration and that whole new universe. Adding up to that lineup, we have Bjorn Tornkvist. I already know I
Mhm.
butchered that. I could sit here and try to pronounce that all night, but I'm not 100% sure. Tornkvist, I think. Fist.
Yeah, you
But
got me.
he's now the vice president of games technology. So he's from Ubisoft, where he actually worked on multiplayer technologies behind the Division and Just Dance Now, as well as he founded Ubisoft's digital games publishing platform. And then after that, to round out this new lineup, Jay Ong, he's led the Marvel Games team for about 10 years now, and he's going to lead the global games licensing business, and that's going to be across all franchises. So he's had previous roles, or his experience has been from previous roles with Blizzard, EA Sports, and Xbox.
I tell you what, I'm glad Disney's finally getting like fully into the gaming realm because like they have a
Yeah,
lot of great IPs. They own a lot of fucking shit, and there's a lot of potential if they just get out here and work with these developers and license out their
yeah,
IPs. So this is good
and
news here.
bringing in these two, but working with like promoting Sean and then bringing Jay from Marvel Games, like it seems like they're really serious about it. Like they wanna get some people that have done some real shit to get in there and do some, make some moves, make some choices. Do stuff like that. Like do what they're gonna do and make Disney gaming good.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be like this is the build up of foundation where we're about to see probably I would say in the next 3 to 5 years a huge name in gaming because like you said the amount of IP that they have is astronomical
I see it now. Disney
and
Plus add-on bonus. You get games. Every game that has a Disney licensed
I'm
out.
not doing it through my fucking video sharing service. Fuck you, Netflix. Fuck you, Disney games for Disney Plus. Like, not happening. But I am really excited to see uh, what they're gonna do with this because of the IP that they have, the things that they can do, and the experience of all of these individuals coming together and now being in that executive branch and like the decision making mind behind Disney games. I'm pretty excited
Yeah, man.
to say the least.
Yeah. With you on that.
Yeah. So, but something else that you're allowed to be excited for if you still play League of Legends is going to be the new vampires style, the Vampire Survivors style PVE mode that they're looking to get later this year. More on that later. I haven't really seen too much about it yet,
Yeah, they
but
were just talking about how they're coming out with it. It's funny
yeah.
because like I haven't played Vampire Survivors in a while, probably since it was like first hyped up. But I was playing a game. I forgot to put on my list. Brotato. It's on Game Pass. It's a really small game. Map is really small, but like it's the same thing. But you're a little potato and you have these guns and it's goofy as shit. But it's like those games are always fun. And I know Deep Rock Galactic just had their version come out not that long ago, so it's like kind of like turn your brain off, but like have fun in a way. Like, I was playing it one handed while holding my daughter, so I was like, "This is cool. It works."
That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, I'm excited to see how that goes. A PVE coming out would be nice. I mean, I feel like that's kind of a logical next step for League. I mean that it was a MOBA that dominated my college years, my even my tech school years after basic training. Like that's what we
Hmm.
did. We just hung out, played League. I remember the first time they did Earth. It was the greatest game mode to ever exist.
Oh yeah,
In April Fool's Day, like, so I'm excited to see how this comes in and what they do with it.
yeah, for sure. Let's go ahead and talk about EA. Obviously, they're a big person in the gaming industry right now, and they announced that they're raising the prices to their EA Play subscription on May 10th. To break it down to you, it'll increase from $4.99 a month to $5.99. But then if you also pay for like a yearly in advance, it's going from 29 up to 39. Um, so and then there's also a pro tier apparently. So if you go for monthly, it's 14.99 to 16.99, and 119 to and it's getting a $20 increase. So 139, and that's like, does anybody really pay for EA Play like outside of Game Pass? Because like I have EA Play technically, but it's through Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah, but all that money goes to the developers.
Yeah, but I gotta make sure I tip.
It's extra tip money that's going to the developers.
But on the other side, though, in regards to one of their games, this is actually kind of exciting news because we could see the future of Battlefield soon. Because Battlefield 2042 with season 7 that came out last month, they did confirm that that will be the last season that comes out, but they will still support the game with like new in-game challenges, different like events and modes, and of course the general maintenance of the game. But they're like no more seasons, no more like big time content, no new maps, no new shit like that. But time to focus on what is next for Battlefield, because like they restructured a lot of their stuff, brought in a lot of good people that are hopefully going to get Battlefield back on track where it can actually thoroughly compete in the shooter genre, because it's been kind of very lackluster for like the last three entries at least. Like Battlefield 1, 5, and 2042 has just not been good.
I
So
liked one. I thought one was okay.
yeah.
I had a decent amount of fun in there, and then they dropped the new Call of Duty, and then I forgot about it.
Battlefield, what's that?
What? What? Is that thing in Warzone where we drop? Is that? That's that place. That's that new 6v6 multiplayer map in Call of Duty. It's Battlefield 1.
Right. Um But moving on though, talk about another game here is Power World. They had an update kind of here. It was revealed in an event that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But they did reveal that the arena mode for Power World, where it's PvP, will be coming out later this year. So they kind of like teased it at the showcase, and It's exciting, man. Like Power World needs these big time contents. We know it's like technically in game preview still, but like these new content updates is really what it needs because like the game pretty much died off like tremendously. Like let me see if I can bring up like Power World's like Steam numbers. Um, where are we at here? That's not where I wanted it. Power World Steam chart. Yeah, they're currently sitting at 25,000 in game, which in the grand scheme of thing ain't bad. Like it's still
Hmm.
good, but it's not 2 million how it was 3 months ago.
Well, I think
And
once people hopped in and realized it was actual work, they all kind of were just like, "No, I'm good."
yeah,
Like, I have to
yeah,
do upkeep? No, not at all, ever.
right. Then some interesting news. It's so funny how shit's coming full circle, right? Power World is accusing Tencent of making a Power World clone, but was it like Power World was already in trouble for making a Pokemon clone? So like, what the fuck is going on here?
How dare you take what I have rightfully stolen? Is the only thing that comes to mind here. How dare you clone what I've cloned?
The,
You
I can
rat
see it now.
bastard.
It's the Spider-Man meme with like the three of them pointing at each other, and it's Pokemon Power World and whatever Tencent game is called.
Whatever the fuck Tencent's coming out with, yeah.
Yeah.
Just the whole time. Like, they're like, oh, no, we know it's a clone. You wanna know why? That's the same code that we stole when we made Power World. It's the same fucking code. Same goddamn thing. You know, when we stole it, we didn't alter it, and we didn't alter it to catch fucking dirty little cloners like you guys. Tencent.
But I was talking to Roger about this, and I was like, I'm wondering if like this whole like game is turning into like a subgenre, kind of like how Battle Royale did. Like when PUBG first came out with Battle Royale, like a true Battle Royale, because I know there was like games similar to it before that, but like PUBG kind of set the foundation for like this is a new subgenre, and then like Fortnite copied it, and then Apex copied it, and then Call of Duty copied it, and like everybody had to have a battle royale mode. So now it's like, is that going to be like what we're getting into? Like the whole survival, like
Yeah.
creature catching thing is going to be like a new subgenre, and it's not just like a one idea that nobody can do anymore. That's what I'm
Yeah.
curious about.
I could see that coming through.
I mean, like
People seem to like the genre. They seem to like doing it. But you know, each developer is going to do it differently.
right.
And then once somebody gets one that everyone wants to stick with, that'll be it.
Right, and like it breeds like better stuff, like games that can get better. Because like look at all the battle royales, for instance. Like all of them have copied from one another in different updates. They were like, "Ooh, we like that you can come back in the game with Fortnite. You can do or Call of Duty did it with like the Gulag, and then Fortnite was like, we're gonna add these vans where you can revive your teammates, bring them back, and then Apex was like, ooh, but if you collect our card from your drop box and you take it to this machine, like they all
Yeah.
started copying the same shit and bringing it in the game, and I was at first I was like, that's crazy. Why are they copying? Like this is bullshit. Like if I wanted to do that, I go play that, and I'm like, it just makes sense. It makes every game just
Yeah.
that much better.
At this point, it comes down to like, you know, what burger do you like better? Do you like McDonald's? Do you like Burger King? Do you like Wendy's? Do you
Right.
like Jack in the Box? In and Out? Do you like Shake Shack? Do you like they're all a burger, but you know, some people like it a little bit different in McDonald's. Some people like them a little bit different in Burger King.
Right.
That's really just what it is. At this point, they're all exactly the same game as far as, you know, it's a burger, you got two buns, you got some lettuce, tomato, and everything like that. But it's really their little secret sauces that kind of set them apart from each other and make people want to favor one more than the other.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see. All right, Scott. Let's talk about some exciting news out of Ubisoft, though.
Yes, sir. So, one of the most exciting parts of the entire night is going to be Star Wars Outlaws. They've officially got a release date, August 30th, 2024. I do believe Vic is going to be pulling up that beautiful bean footage here any minute now,
Yep.
if he's got that. And man, we're just excited to finally have a female protagonist in a Star Wars game.
Yeah, I've been
It's
salivating
never
over this
happened
trailer.
before. It's never happened before. We've never had one
Yeah,
ever.
it's just like in that beginning shot where they were amongst the different crime syndicates. One of them was Crimson Dawn, and one of the characters was Kira from Solo, and I'm like, oh man, like that shit could be so
Yeah.
good. And like
When I saw
obviously,
that, I'm like, I'm just excited for just the lore that we're gonna get from this game.
right. Obviously, it doesn't have like that much of an impact to the overarching like premise of Star Wars because this takes place in between episodes 5 and 6, movies respectively. Because like you get to see Han Solo at Jabba's palace. He's already frozen in carbonite, right there. Speaking of the devil, imagine. But yeah, it's just it's really great to see how like what's awesome though is like I know when they first announced this game they're like when Starfield was having issues that like you couldn't leave the planet by yourself, like you had to go into like a loading screen and then you were in outer space. They were like Star Wars, you hop in your ship, you fly into orbit, and then like if you're once you're in orbit there's actually a bunch of shit to do up in space. And then like there's a point where if you reach to a certain part of like outer orbit, it'll like you'll trigger like your hyperspeed and then you'll off to the next planet you go. And I'm just like, if this is all fluent and just feels really immersive, this game could be really fucking good.
I just hate how they made the main character look like she was from the Dark Crystal. If anybody's ever seen that movie, it's just the it's an old Jim Henson puppet movie, super old school, and just like a dead face the whole time. Only thing that moves is his mouth, like oh 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 oh. Like she does. Yeah, I'm a little upset with that, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
As long as it's fluent, we'll be good. Space Vikings, love that. Can't wait.
Yeah, so we'll definitely see how Star Wars Outlaws turns out, which becomes available August 30th,
August 30th.
right around the corner. Which actually, just real quick, that's actually been a big controversy. Is like the different editions of the game you can buy, and it's like $70, $90, $130. But like the biggest part was like one of the side missions that with Jabba's palace was like locked behind this paywall, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is bullshit! Like I can't go to Jabba's palace without this special edition." And like they had to confirm, like, "No, you can go to Jabba's palace. This is just like a side mission he has for you." But it's like even then, like, why are we locking content that should just be in the game behind a special edition of the game? Like, why is it not included in the base game?
Yeah, if you want these 4 extra missions, we'll take $40 extra, please, and thank you.
Yeah, it doesn't make any
Like it's
sense.
just well, almost 60 at that point.
And the thing is, I
So
was
yeah,
thinking
what
about
you're
getting one
spending
of
your
the
base
special
game
editions just because I want to get the steel book.
in good. I mean, I get it as a steelbook collector. That's kind of what you have to do. That's just
Yeah.
that's the general maintenance and upkeep fee that you have to spend. But I just don't think in good conscience that I could spend that much on this game. I'm not sure about it yet. I don't know, and like just the sheer audacity of having that much behind a paywall just upsets me in general.
Hmm.
You can tell I'm visibly upset right now, fuming. But it's just the idea of having that stuff behind a paywall and just well, if you're a real fan, you'll spend $135 to get what? Well, we got like 2 extra side missions and you get a cool vest.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah,
We
and
get
you
2 extra side missions and a cool vest.
and a skin for your speeder bike or
Yeah,
whatever.
you get a speeder bike skin.
Yeah.
Okay, what is this? What does any of this do? It just shows up to players that you paid $140.
Right.
Okay, and then what? That's it. You play the game.
Yeah. Oh, you get
Nothing else.
3 days early access to.
Oh, 3 days early, which I get. It's I get, but like not for almost double the price gap.
Right.
Like, and then we make money, and then it actually unlocks the developer tip screen. Uh, yes, and you can pay an extra 20% to the developers because we're not paying them. You do it.
You do it. Do it.
And do it. But anyway, that's really anything coming out of Uber's. Well, no, it's not actually. We do have a Prince of Persia. Wow, I thought that was it already. I just got so heated. You saw there. I was raging. I was throwing
It's like,
things.
fuck this shit.
Uh, this fucking shit. Got me so blinded. I just wanted to get out of the Ubisoft section entirely. But I can't without mentioning Prince of Persia. So Prince of Persia is going to be getting a new roguelike. It's from Dead Cells Studios. It's going to be called It's from Dead Cells Studio Evil Empire.
Hmm. Yeah, I think the game
So
is just called like Rogue Prince of Persia or
yeah,
something
it's
like
gonna
that.
be
Something
Rogue Prince
stupid.
of Persia or Rogue of Persia, some weird
Yeah.
Prince of Rogue Persia. Who knows? Prince of Persia Rogue. Prince of Persia
It's
Outlaws,
like
maybe.
how
Who knows?
original that was that. Like
Yeah,
it's a roguelike, so we're gonna call it a rogue Prince of Persia. Like
Rogue of Persia.
this is so terrible. So
But
terrible.
that should be we'll be seeing more on that later on, and hopefully, I mean, I hope it's good. Prince of Persia deserves another good game here. It's a good series.
Yeah, obviously outside of the last game that's been pissing me off with like how terrible it became. But yeah, it's been a long
Yep.
running franchise for sure. But the announcement actually for this roguelike game came from the showcase called the Triple I Initiative Showcase. This was back on April 10th. I know about 30 studios showed like a lot of their latest projects. It was a 40-minute showcase that featured 35 games, so I'm not going to really cover all of them. I'll kind of run through every game that was there. But we had Slay Aspire 2, which I know a lot of people were really excited for this one. This is a sequel that the fans have been calling for, honestly. And it'll be arrives through Steam Early Access in 2025, so that's something to look forward to next year. There's a big update coming for Risk of Rain 2, the Devotion update. It adds a new stage, Verdant Falls, and a new artifact called the Devotion and Delusion. And the update is just says coming soon, so maybe right around the corner there. Then we got Kill Knight. Next game we had was Shadows of Doubt. Next one was My Time at Sandrock. Scott, if you're looking at the same article with me at all, I'm not sure. Welcome to the chat, Marshmallow, Prince of Persia, Rogues Persia. Yeah. Risk of Rain 2. Yeah, I know you're definitely excited for Risk of Rain 2 for sure. But yeah, Scott, if you have the article, if you want to talk about any of these games that I'm running through that I don't stop on, just let me know. Then we got Dino Lords. This one's pretty interesting because like it's a game with a cool concept. You're a knight who rides dinosaurs in the works for PC. Um, and it's pretty cool. Like they have like these dinosaurs like on like the screen. The screen it's like a Stegosaurus that's like kitted with like Roman armor. So I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Next we got Gestal and Steam and Cinder. Um, it's a steampunk adventure game launching into Steam on May 21st. Vampire Survivors did get an announcement that it is coming to the PlayStation finally. And when it does comes out with a DLC crossover with Contra. So that's going to be a really big one. This brings like a new mission, a bunch of new levels, new guns, new attachment, like different abilities, new characters, shit like that. $20 Oblivion DLC horse armor, right? Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Um, Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn got a new update there. I know that's a lot of people are looking forward to this game. It's coming out in 2024, hopefully in the summertime. Neveralone 2 did get an announcement. I have not played Neveralone 1, but I know is a renowned game. Game that came out back in 2014, so it's been 10 years. It's an adventure game featuring an Inipuk and her Arctic Fox. I'm probably butchering that shit terribly. It was just a brief teaser. Then we got Cataclysmo. Next game we got was Death Must Die. Then we got Endzone 2, Dyson Sphere program. It's a factory sim for the Dyson Sphere program teased. This is something I didn't know that we really needed, but I mean, if you're into testing, like I guess vacuum cleaners and shit,
But boy, aren't we happy we have it.
yeah, it's there. Undermine 2, it's a sequel to the roguelike dungeon crawler Undermine. It was just kind of like teased a little bit with a teaser trailer featuring dual protagonists, blob shopkeepers, and killer bees. Then we got Norlands, What the Car. This is a Gonzo action game from What the Golf. It's coming to Steam this year later in September. Next up we had was Darkest Dungeon. This was kind of like an update that we kind of been following along with this game. The free update to Darkest Dungeon is coming out later this year, which will add a new mode called Kingdoms. And there's like new combat and skill trees. Obviously, we know the controversy behind that game. I wonder if it's actually still going on because we have not seen any updates in regards to that whole lawsuit. Next up, we got RKGK. Apparently, it's pronounced Rakugaki. That they had to like okay, which takes place in a neon-soaked futuristic city. That's coming out later this year. Then we got Broken Roads, which looks pretty cool. This one actually has me pretty interesting. Almost seems like an apocalyptic kind of game with zombies and stuff. It's a narrative-driven post-apocalyptic RPG set in Australia, which already is crazy to begin with because we know that Australia is dangerous, and now there's an apocalypse there. Nope, don't sign me up to be there.
Rad spiders.
Then we got Ravens Watch Fall of Avalon. It's a co-op roguelike game. And then we got Cat Quest 3. I didn't know that we needed 3 of those games, but hey, if you're into the whole pirate and being a cat, this one's for you coming later out this year. And next up that we got is Hyper Light Breaker. Um, then we got Last Spell, Lysera, Summit Kingdom. It looks like another like one of those like city builders from back in the day. Then we got Wizard of Legend 2. This is coming from Humble Games and developer Dead Mage. Got a new trailer showcasing the beautiful environments. And then we got Let's School. It's heading to consoles this summer. Specifically, the game will be available for the Switch, Xbox One, Series X and X, PS4, and 5. Basically, building schools and the inside of schools. So if you're really into that kind of stuff, then here you are. Interesting enough, Brotato appeared at the show. Shout out to them with a new update. The newest DLC is called Abysmal Terrors, and it releases this summer. Announced that the couch co-op update for the game is also in the works, so that'd be pretty cool. Then we got Tchia, got an update for that. It will be releasing on PC in March and Nintendo Switch later in June. This game originally came to the PlayStation when it first released. Then we got Streets of Rogue 2. Anybody looking for an update or a sequel to the immersive open world randomly generated sandbox game coming out later this year. And next up, we got Power World. This is actually where their Power World Arena was announced originally, but I had to put in its own separate category. Update to 33 Immortals. I know a lot of people are excited for this one because there's like literally 33 people playing a co-op action like roguelike game. It's coming to Game Pass day one. There's a beta and you can sign up for it, so I'll be on the lookout for that. Just a normal day in Australia, exactly, Marshmallow. I know a lot of people are excited for this one. It's called Mouse. It's kind of set like back in like the 1920s. Kind of reminds me of like the Disney old aesthetic, like Mickey Mouse and like the it's really goofy. It almost reminds me of like
The Great Mouse Detective.
yeah, it has like the Cuphead feel a little bit as well. Like go definitely check it out. Then we got V Rising got an update, and then the Rogue Prince of Persia game also got announced there as well. So really big showcase. I actually completely forgot it was even a thing until I watched it after the fact, and I was like, okay, some of these games are cool. Some of them are like, just adds to the long list of just game releases because there's like thousands of games that release every year, but like only a handful of them make it to the light of day. But any of those games have you excited at all, Scott?
So I know we talked about 33 Immortals before on one of the previous shows, but Darkest Dungeon, Raven's Watch, and I'd have to say Wizards of Legend 2 are really the ones that stick out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Darkest Dungeon, actually, it's not. I'm not sure if you had that confused with Dark and Darker earlier
Oh yeah,
when you were talking
yeah,
about the lawsuit, but that was
yeah.
for Dark and Darker, which is still very much alive and well. Um, but Darkest Dungeon looked really fun. They're all kind of top downs. Um, and they look fun. I've been looking for something new that's kind of in that same realm of like the fantasy stuff, and these three really have stuck out to me for that. But any looking good to you other than the
Oh
Dyson Sphere program?
yeah, definitely. That's my number one for sure. But outside of that, not really. I mean, maybe 33 Immortals. I might give Mouse a go. That seems pretty cool. Obviously, I've been playing Potato, so maybe I'll check out that DLC when it drops. And maybe the Rogue Prince of Persia game has me excited just because like the I'm waiting for that franchise to come back and just be good. I'm thinking that the problem I'm having with the Lost Crown is that I wasn't expecting the game to be as long and to drag on as much as it is because of like my time restraints. But like maybe I return to that game later this year or next year when I'm not worried about that stuff anymore. Like I'm ready to dive into games that take forever to beat, and not have to worry about beating a game by a certain time and whatnot. But and obviously Power World with the PAL Arena, like that actually may get me back into the game. Like that would be really dope to give a
Yeah,
go.
for sure. For sure. But another announcement that happened during the III initiative was actually that Vampire Survivors is going to be coming to PlayStation. Not only that, they did also announce the new Contra DLC during this. So they said it's going to be releasing this summer. We've already had it on PC, Switch, mobile, and Xbox, but now PlayStation players will finally get a chance to play this. And then from there, they're going to be working on the Contra DLC. So they include Brad Fang from Contra Hardcore, better known as the Wolf with the gun grafted to his arm, and that is going to be coming out May 9th.
Awesome to see there. And let's go ahead and round out our gaming news with a trailer for the upcoming DLC for Remnant 2 called The Forgotten Kingdom. Comes out here in a couple of days on the 23rd. So I'll go ahead and get that up here on screen so you guys can check this out and give your thoughts as well. I have not checked out Remnant 2. I've actually never played Remnant 1. I did buy it. It's on my shelf. I know it's a part of Game Pass, so is Remnant 2. Um and it actually might be a game that I check out later this year or even next year. I want to get through both of those. But this trailer actually looks really good. The game overall looked really well. I mean, I know Remnant 2 was arguably one of the best games of the year last year, and I know a lot of people really enjoyed it. Um, but it's like a Souls-like game, but like the fact that you actually get guns is what is different about this because like obviously a lot of Souls-like games you're just strictly melee combat. Um, and the fact that this is also played could be played in co-op, which is a little bit different as well. I'm not sure if Marshmallow's in chat, but I'm curious to wonder if he has played Remnant 1 or 2 and what's his take on that. But what about you, Scott? Have you played either Remnants? Are you excited to check them
Uh,
out? What's going on?
I have not, but it's something that's kind of been on that mental backlog of something that I definitely wanted to check out before. And now with the Forgotten Realm DLC coming out, it puts it right up there in the foreground of that mental backlog. So it's probably going to be something I'll be playing here the next month or so, as long as I'm not stuck doing more in IRL life stuff.
I
But
hear you. I hear you, buddy. It's only going to get harder. Best believe that.
can't
But
wait.
but yeah, man, that's all the gaming news that we got for everybody this week. We do appreciate anybody who came through and check us out live here on Twitch today, and anyone who does check us out later on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you might hear us. But Scott, where can the community find you at?
So, like I just previously said, I am doing a lot of in IRL life stuff. So, if you do want to catch me, you can catch me on Discord. Name is Scobie1. I got my own little channel here. Y'all can hop in or get a hold of me, and I can go ahead and invite you in there. I'm usually in my spare time playing some of the games there. If you want to see what I'm up to in my real life, you can always get a hold of me on Instagram. Handle's still the same. That's going to be Scobie1, and you can follow me on there. And if you want to, shoot the shit or see what I'm up to, feel free to do it on there.
Awesome. And everyone, you can check me out at Twitter at Mr. Never Chillin _. Threads is Mr. Never Chillin. Xbox is X Never Space Chillin. If you want a game party up, hit me up there. And I do stream over on my Twitch at twitch.tv/Mr. Never Chillin, where I am currently playing through Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. And I plan to start another game here with my fiance. We're planning to play Open Roads. And I'm trying to figure out. I'm also streaming Alan Wake 2, by the way. I haven't played in a while. It's just I can only play it during the day, but very minimum time that I can do that because I'm not playing the game at night. I can't do it
There
no
has
more.
to be it has to be in the middle of the day, all the windows open,
Yeah,
full just light coming through. It was a little cloudy today, so I figured you wouldn't have been playing it because it'd be
yeah,
a
you
little
got
too
it.
dark.
Yeah,
Because it's just scary. It's scary.
yeah. Big Daddy can't do it no more. Yeah, but make sure you come through, support the stream there, and we do again thank everyone again here. But until next week, peace.
Restart podcast.